Hello, this is Steve with Steve's Guitar Tips. Today we're going to go over a classic song by Hank Williams called Mind Your Own Business. Now this song is going to have three chords. You're going to be in a key of E, so you're going to have an E chord, you're going to have an A chord, and then you'll have a B7 chord. Now we're going to play this like his live recording of the song. Now in the live recording you start with a B7, you play for one bar. Now one bar is going to be 8 down strums. And when we play these, we're going to basically do a pulsing pattern. So it'll sound like this. Now the way I'm doing that is I'm taking my B7, I'm strumming it down and lifting the fingers up. So it kind of mutes it. Then I'm giving an up strum every fourth down strum. So all together. Okay, then we're going to have an E chord for one bar, and now we're going to go into a root 5 strum on the E chord. Now that root 5 strum is going to be bass note, so on the E chord it's a low E string, followed by down up. Then we're going to play the A string, which is our 5, and down up. Now when we come up, every time you want to hit just the high string, first couple high strings. Not all of them. And that'll make a better sound for you. So one bar of our E chord is going to be this. Okay, so now we're going to go through the intro playing the B7 to your E chord. It'll sound like this. Now from there, we're going to go into verse 1. To play the verse, you're going to have an E for 2 bars, an A for 1 bar, an E for 1 bar, a B7 for 1 bar, and then an E for 1 bar. Now, we're going to do root 5 strumming on all our chords. So we've showed you how to play the E chord on the root 5. Now we need to do the A chord. Play the A chord, you can play your low A string, down up, followed by your E string, down up. B7, you're going to play your A string, down up. Then you're going to move your second finger up to your low E string, play your low E string, down up. So all together. Now one bar of each of these patterns is playing a pattern twice. So for your A chord we did earlier, it'll be like this. Okay, for your B7, it'll be this. Okay, so we're going to play through verse 1. If the wife and I are fussing, brother, that's alright. Me and that woman's got a license to fight. Why don't you mind your own business? Mind your own business. Mind your own business and you won't be minding mine. Okay, so then we're going to go into verse 2, which will be the same chords as verse 1. So it'll be like this. Oh, the woman on the party line's the noisiest thing. She picks up the receiver when she knows it's my ring. Why don't you mind your own business? Mind your own business. Mind your own business and you won't be minding mine. Okay, so that from there you go into a musical interlude. Now the musical interludes will always have the same chords as the verses have. So your first one will sound like this. Okay, so then I'll take us into verse 3, which will be the same chords as verse 1 and 2 and the musical interludes. Then you're going to have another musical interlude after verse 3, followed by verse 4. And then you'll have another interlude after verse 4, and it'll be followed by verse 5. So that's the pattern for playing the whole song. Now what I'm going to also show you here is how you play the studio version of the song. Now the way you play the studio version of the song is you're going to be playing a pulsing pattern similar to what we're playing in the intro. So for your B7, we played earlier. Well, in the case of the studio recording, they're playing the down up every time. Very subtle up though. So you're playing like one or two of the high strings, it sounds like. Now you'll be doing the down up 8 times. Now for every bar, it'll be 8 times. 8 down ups. And now you're going to play that same pattern on your E chord and then on your A chords through the whole song. So if we start with the intro, it'll be this. Then you'll go into your verse line, it'll be like this. Okay, so that's how they play the studio version of the song. Now, to find that subtle up, I had to actually slow this thing down to 50% speed. And there's apps that you can find for your phone that'll do that for a song. But I slowed it down to 50% and I could hear that subtle up. Because I couldn't hear that at high speed, I could not hear that. And a lot of lessons I've seen and teach on this don't show that.